Kim Starr is currently working. She'll have her 2 days off, works 2 days at the county, and then is working 2 8-hour shifts down here. And we're hoping to actually start getting some complete days off for our other 2 dispatchers starting this weekend.
Good, good. You say you did, do we have any dispatchers in training?
No one is training yet.
Oh.
We just got the one, all of his background and everything's been completed. So he's supposed to be starting the end of this week is what I understand.
Okay.
I believe one of our part-timers is going to work this weekend, and then we have a call taker that I think is going to start this weekend, just doing some retraining. She used to be a dispatcher here. And the other one used to be a dispatcher for the county, and I think she might be starting later this week also.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
Everything else going good?
Yeah, Sergeant Lear is supposed to be back to work Monday, so there'll be back to 3 of us instead of just 2 of us we've had the past month working patrol. So that'll be nice.
Are you guys getting days off?
Yeah, I've been trying to give the chief a couple days off, and I was off Friday and Saturday night. We went out of town.
Okay.
So we've been cutting back a little bit just to help with the overtime, been doing more, taking calls.
Okay, great. Great.
I think that's everything I have.
Any questions?
No,
None here.
All right.
thanks, John. Thank you.
Also under the police department, I talked with, briefly about this grant. I talked with the chief today, though. That grant, we've got to take a look at it. Nothing was budgeted for that amount of revenue coming in under this budget. So as we progress with it, I mean, it's been awarded to us, but it may not get spent until later on. Because no revenue was budgeted for that amount.
Right. The only thing it does say is it has to be used in this fiscal year through August 31st of 2025 is what it states on here.
Okay, that won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think this is something we weren't entirely aware that it would been put in for. So
Oh, is that right?
when we got it. Yeah, they've been talking, but I don't think we were aware that the grant had been applied for.
No. And I knew that it had been put out for,
Oh,
but Mike didn't know?
the chief didn't sound like he knew for sure when he was telling me about it tonight.
Huh,
He wasn't sure who.
well, that's good though.
Yeah.
Anyway. Good job. Okay, let's move up to, we have the MOU that we discussed last time and everybody was all in favor of it and it got signed. We need to have an official vote on that. Like it got overlooked at the last meeting, so if I could get a motion to go ahead and approve the MOU we're working under at this time with the sheriff's office.
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU for the emergency dispatch service assistance.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're official now. Okay, we talked about the grant. We'll move on to the fire department. I met with one of the fire department members today. To answer a couple of questions, you was asking where the food drive, where they drop off for. One of them that Brad carries office, New York Life. Another place is here at the town hall. And the other one is James's office right across the street.
Land company.
Land company, okay, James Land Company. And he wasn't sure, he says sometimes the guy at the grocery store will set up a basket.
Yeah.
And people may be dropping off in there, so. And then the one truck is still not fixed, they're still waiting on parts. Guy is in Rock Springs, one pumper truck. And as soon as they get the parts in, they'll take it over there. They had a couple of like little non-emergency calls this week at a couple of different houses. I think it was chimney fires or something like that, but that's pretty much all they had.
It's that time of the year.
Yeah, it is. So, okay, we'll move on to the recreation department.
Good evening. Some old business, as we probably heard, we had the ugly soda run this past Saturday. the 40-mile and temperature, 13 brave souls came out and ran the race. So yay to them. Let's see. Some upcoming stuff looking towards January. We'll be gearing up for the co-ed volleyball to kick off. So I'll be shooting out some information on registration and putting together some teams for that, as well as 4-H shooting. They'll be starting in January. I think that'll be on a Wednesday night from 6:30 to 8:30. I spoke with some of the teachers for that. And then we're still looking for custodial worker, $15 an hour, 15 hours per week, trying to get somebody over there.
And that's, as we discussed, that's kind of, they work when they can. They can put their 15 hours in.
Flexible.
Very
schedule.
flexible.
Mhm.
That-
Yeah,
That's something we want to get out there too, that the hours are flexible.
for sure, yeah. So, and that's all I have to report.
When's Pee Wee basketball?
Not so bad, mid-February.
Oh, we got a little bit of time to get ready.
Get your volleyball first and then we'll start gearing up for that.
Somebody, I forget who it was asking me that and I'm like, I'll have to get back with you.
Yeah, we usually wait, or in the past, they've waited until after high school basketball is over, because some of those high school kids get recruited to help with like reffing and such. And
Oh, I see.
you know, kind of tutoring the kids and such, so their season ends and then we'll start about mid-February with the rec league basketball.
Okay. It's only,
Pickleball Thursdays.
Yeah, pickleball, we're trying a drop-in pickleball league, starting this week on Thursday nights from 6 to 9 during that open gym hour, just to see if we can get some more people out and interested in playing.
We have some regulars that are going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to noon, but for those folks who haven't been able to attend because of work, we're gonna try out that 6 to 9 Thursday evening thing to see if people
Mhm,
are interested.
mhm. Correct.
is there enough room to do both? I mean, have open gym, people coming.
Well, currently open gym's kind of first come, first serve.
Oh, I see.
Wednesday is kind of the big volleyball night, or tends to be a bigger volleyball night. And so I told them, you know, if you want to get a net set up and play it, I mean, we have 3 courts, so they can go to the back gym. I think we can make it work if some people show up and want to play.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't shooting sports and the 4-H go in there pretty quick?
They start in January, about the 3rd week in January in the small
Okay.
gym. So I thought we'd try it in December and see if we get any interest in pickleball. And if we do, we'll try to carry it over till January and schedule around the other events. I think Thursday night at 6 to 9 was sort of open window. So,
And you have staff that's showing up and working good? Good. Good. Great. Sounds like you got a handle on things.
for now.
Keep fingers crossed.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, do you have anything else? Any other questions for the rec department? Okay, we'll move on to Department of Public Works.
Pictures.
Pictures.
They're even colored. You must have found them in already.
All right, so the first item on the docket. So through the winter, we use salt, sand, kind of in a combination to treat the roads for slick spots and so right now we've only got about 6 to 7 yards of salt, which is not a ton. We do have about 15 yards of salt sand that's mixed at about a 10%. So I'd like to get some more salt for one, to have a bigger stockpile on hand and then be able to heat up that sand that we got a little bit more to try and get a mix that will get a little bit better of a melt. Right now, that 10% with salt sand, we don't get a lot of melt with it. This will get us through the year, hopefully, and then some. I don't plan on using a large chunk of this, but if we're gonna get it, we might as well get it in the load. So this come out of Minot, Arizona, and get straight delivered to us. It's 32 ton. That'll pretty good amount.
And we're getting straight salt now.
Yeah, and then we've got sand and I'd like to be able to slowly incorporate that into the sand so we can kind of see where we don't get buildup on the road a little bit. I mean, we use the straight salt pretty sparingly, like down here on Bridge Street in the shade, on the hills a little bit. But I'd like to be able to mess with that salt sand mix a little bit, and it's easier for us to do it than ask someone to, hey, mix us 10%, mix us 15.
Yeah, I was thinking it was cheaper last year.
It has gone up. And
Okay,
because from what I understand, last year was about 3,700 to low 3,500, somewhere in there.
Remember, we bought some, but I don't remember what it
we
was.
ended up going to sand and salt mix because it was cheaper to get it mixed already. But
Yeah, and we can, I mean, sometimes there's an occasion where if we get real bad buildup, say we get a bunch of cold weather and a bunch of snow, that straight salt does get the hills knocked off pretty good.
oh, yeah.
But no, I'd like to milk this for all it's worth. I know in the past, there's times where we've gone through like 3 loads of salt in one winter.
Yeah,
It's a lot of salt.
So that's the price for this 32 ton.
Yeah. Delivered to the door.
So,
And we've got budgeted in like $23,000, I think, for plowing and snow removal.
we got plenty in the month.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to go ahead and pay this $4,684.80?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, a couple meetings ago, we kind of went over what I guess we call the Crater Road Project. So I got reached out to EA. We already have a master service agreement with them. And so I asked them to give us, price on what it would do for them to do construction management, bid documents, the contract and everything. And the total with the construction management comes out to like 10% of the construction cost, 5% for design and 5% for construction management, which is to me about as good a deal as we're going to get from anybody. And, I like working with them guys. They do a good job. The map here this is the dream map. We'll probably not get everything done on the dream map. So their fee is based off of a total project cost of like 1.525 million. And it's based on time and materials. So on the construction management, everything go good, fast, smooth. They're only going to bill us for what they do. So if they don't burn up all that 86 on construction management, they're not going to bill us for it. It's not a lump sum. And we'll get some construction costs, and there'll be a final set of contract documents that you guys will be able to pencil through, and final maps and everything before we put it out.
Wow. I like it.
Yeah, like I said, we won't be able to get everything done on there, but that was the kind of the list. John had some on a list, I had some on a list, you guys had some on a list. And the special purpose tax had specific streets listed that we put on the map, and then so we'll get some pretty good cost estimates and do some core sampling on some roads, and then these maps will probably get chipped at.
Phased, maybe
Well,
priority 1.
yeah.
And this will be paid for out of specific purpose.
Some of that, and then a little bit of the impact funds for the chip seal, we'll split it. Because there was no chip seal in this.
Do you need a motion from us to proceed with this?
Yeah, to approve that task order, I think it's got a number on it. Task order.
Is there any way that we can squeeze in chip seal in that park location?
Or
It would come around that corner on Pick Pike or the Never Forget.
for the actual park,
Yeah, I mean, for the parking lot.
for the parking lot, everything would have to really work out.
I
Because
mean, maybe not for special purpose, but maybe.
We probably aren't
Impact.
ready for it.
that's what I'm saying. So if we putting that out to bid, those timelines would really need to work up for them to be all done, for us to have people here.
Yeah,
Like, I wouldn't say it would be impossible, but, and then the cost of that's probably gonna be like over the 75, so then we'd have to bid it out,
yeah.
getting it to,
I'm just wondering, I mean, I see that we're butting right up to it on that road for chip seal, so
Oh, I totally,
I don't want us to forget about maybe the potential. There's a
Yeah.
possibility.
and we talked about that a little bit, but logistically for that to all come together would be.
Timing's difficult.
be- And then the bid thing would be a hindrance too.
Mhm.
Like, I doubt that comes in under 75.
Right. Okay,
I wish it
Yes.
would, but
I was just curious.
so what's,
Pack it apart too much. You have a number on the front of it, I think.
we don't, it said task order, oh, unless it's in the.
Yeah, it's in
Always
the packet.
The task order with EA for the greater road project or something is probably,
We just need to, oh, item 11, here it is. So we just need a. Motion for the task order 1, this 5-page. Document.
yeah, task order
Just
number 1.
proceed.
Yeah,
I'll second that motion.
All in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Hey, Emery,
couple other quick things. The well guys supposed to be mobbing in tomorrow to clean out the wells. You know, we're working on a sewer lift station, setting the vault tomorrow is the plan. So we're getting those chipped away at. And tentatively, probably advertising, hopefully the Spring Street project here in January. Get that all buttoned up, and we'll have the bid package for you guys to look at when we get done with that. So,
so we're looking at bid for Never Forget Park, this. The continuation of this project out here, and then this.
mhm.
When do you think you're gonna?
I'm hoping by the end of January, we'll have that out,
Okay,
be the plan. So, yeah, those are kind of
a
the,
lot of good projects.
yeah,
For construction to begin in the spring.
yeah, weather permitting. whenever. It goes like last year, 4th of July. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Don't jinx it.
so,
Probably, that's good.
And you thought you were moving to the Bahamas
Looks pretty good.
today.
Saturday.
Well, that's great. I like seeing progress. So the lift station will probably be really close to being buttoned up. What do you think? You
we'll
get
get the vault in, and then then we gotta paint put the cure on the inside, and then we gotta get the pumps in there. I mean, the big thing is getting the vault set, and then we can dig away at the force
good.
main and get it. Yeah, they had a construction estimate for it when they did the design. So we'll add everything up on our end and just kind of compare how we did compared to the estimate. I think it'll be quite a bit of change we saved.
Good.
Math. So,
Well, good. Those-
You setting the vault on?
no, by the time we got the hole big enough and safe enough and got the water and stuff and everything in it, got deep enough, it was gonna be too far away for them to, they got it's like 8 feet, they can be away from it, so
Yeah,
Paul and Rodney are gonna come over and set it.
Yeah, big hole
yeah.
with a bigger hole.
Yeah, it's a big hole. So, okay, you want me to,
Is that all you have on that?
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead and move right on into water and sewer joint powers board.
okay. I mean, we hadn't had a meeting since our last meeting, so we got another one next week. We're probably gonna continue to chip away at, hopefully some ordinances. Everyone said they were working on them, so hopefully we'll get some progress on those. And then working with them on this project as well.
What are the ordinances for?
The water and sewer, they were looking at them. At some point, they decided to kind of take that on and kind of review them.
They're those gray areas, they're trying to fix gray areas. So. you
With
know,
the water meter pits and all
with the
that?
water meter pits is one of them. Another one, they talked about. And no decision's been made, possibly raising water and sewer tap fees. There may be a tap fee and then a user fee. And then, I think you said, I don't.
I sat in on one, but they changed everything after that.
Yeah, but I think they're going back, so they're still in that process.
Yeah, that's kind of the ongoing item. The rest of them, we've kind of been kicking things, getting things knocked out and whatnot. That's one thing they've been continuing to work on. So, yeah, not a ton from there. I'll have more to report after the next meeting.
Okay.
So, planning commission.
Right on in.
Okay, so we talked about the Brownsfield thing last time, Brownsfield grant for that. So McCall did email the gal from DEQ. And she did give us a response. There was several examples in there. To me, it was not super concise. I would like maybe somebody, Kylie or somebody with a little bit more legal mind to look at it. It was just, the situations vary with every project site is kind of what I got out of it. So I don't think it was enough to say, hey, yeah, we should do this or that. So we just need to, staff wise, keep looking into that. I think to get some more clear information for you guys on that, on one way or the other, after having the liability concerns. Yeah, so we'll visit that, and then maybe at the next meeting, we'll have a little bit more info for you on that. We did get some info back from her. It was a lot. It was just hard to boil it down to say, yeah, this is all your liability concerns are at ease. Let's do it. To me, there wasn't enough there to say that. We need to keep digging some more on that. And the planning commission meeting, we kind of sat down and they're working on kind of defining what their goals for the next year, as this year is coming to an end. As I talked about the fair house or the affordable housing a little bit more. And then it's a hard thing to deal with. I don't know how much there is to deal with on that. We don't qualify for a lot of programs. So. Yeah, and we got a meeting next week with them as well. And then building permits we've issued this year, a total of 77 for a total revenue of $50,742, and 15 of those were dwelling units. So that means there's one duplex and the rest of them are single family homes. It's about a little over 1% increase in housing stock.
How'd that compare to last year?
It's actually about on point.
Is it?
Yeah, it was going we were behind as of like October, and then we had a few houses come in. So, yeah, that continues. You look at 1.2% every year increase. Any questions?
No, I just want to add, and I handed it out to the council. Of how McCall come up with her appointments. And when we appointed, some of them she didn't know, like. She just knew that Teresa Ramsey was appointed in 2021, no official date. She resigned in 4/23, so there was approximately 2 years left on her 5-year term. And anyway, this is what she come up with. And going forward, I'm going to stress to the boards to keep track of their people, and we'll keep track of it also. So they can run us off one of these, so we can have it on file. So if there's ever any question like we had, we won't have to go back and go through all the minutes to find out when people were appointed, when they resigned, and so we'll try to keep up on that. That's all I have.
Okay.
Any other?
Thanks, Emery.
Thanks, Emery.
Thanks.
We'll move on to the Community Center Joint Power Board.
We haven't met since the last council meeting. So our next one is December 11th at 4:30 at the community center.
Okay. We'll move on with the Recreation Commission.
Rec Commission. we're still working on mission statement, considering changes to the bylaws. I need to follow up with Kylie about that to see if we can potentially rewrite that and what process we need to follow to do that, in order to maybe be a little more flexible about our members being in town and out of town. Likewise, our appointments, we're trying to get that sort of cleaned up so that we're clear on who's currently on the commission and what kind of positions we have open and what the duration would be. We had some updates on the new fob system, the security system that's going to be installed. The equipment's on back order, but Tim is tracking that and sort of staying on top of the installation. They're gonna pull some cable and get things sort of prepped. When the back order stuff comes in, they can replace it. All the new information for members and other people using the facility will be provided when that equipment's installed. So the new logistics, where to access, but everybody will be issued a fob that's for each individual user, so we can track coming and going. We can also disable the lock. So that would be the only access egress using that fob system. So we'll be able to see people coming and going and be able to disable it so people can't come after hours. So it'll be a better controlled system. So we'll keep you posted on that. And then Kim plans to have an open house for folks after the new year, sometime in January. So we'd like to be able to roll out, here's an introduction to our new staff members and the instructors, and here's our new system, and here's some opportunity for new packages for facility usage and classes and things. So we're sort of hoping that we get the fob system installed so that we can do all of that at one time, but we'll keep you posted on the days and times. And Kim talked about doing it a couple of evenings, so people had a chance to stop in and get a tour and meet her and meet the staff and kind of get a lowdown on things. What did come up, which is kind of not exactly, I mean, it just kind of, we were talking about being able to advertise and post information and communicate with the community. We talked about how we use Facebook quite often. We put up flyers, we try to post things in various places, but the website is ideally the place where people would go to find information about anything related to town. And we've heard a lot of repeated input from not only the commission members, but some of our commission members are on the Visitors Council and work closely with the chamber. And we've got people who are Kim's trying to maintain information on our website, and we're getting a lot of feedback that it's not user friendly. I don't know if all of us on the council have gone in and looked for things. I can say that I've gone in, done searches on the web that direct me to our old website, and then the redirect link doesn't always work. So some of the general feedback is it's hard to find things, it's hard to navigate. We're having some issues with it. That being the place that ideally we would go to maintain information, to distribute information to folks in the, disseminate announcements and things. We're just not making much traction or getting much traction with the new website. So I asked Karina to pull that invoice and what we're paying them. So we use Civic Plus for the website. We used it previously. As we know, we migrated everything over to this new website just last year. And my question at the time, and now I'm being in software, I knew that we were paying a license fee. So we pay an annual fee for maintenance for this system, for this company to basically host our website, right? I think there's an opportunity for us to maybe save some money if we look at separating out these two contracts that we have with them. We store and manage all of our templates for agendas and meeting minutes and our ordinances and other documentation that's municipal type documentation that we're mandated to provide and maintain, right? Then we've got the website, which is not terribly user friendly. And we've got admin who aren't getting the training they need or aren't aware of how to manage a lot of that important information that's more public facing, right? So what if we look at not paying this $3,400 to renew the license and maybe look at some options where we've got web designers, we've got local web designers who will build the website, migrate the information, make the connections, sync up all of your links that are previously active on this new location, provide training and hand it off to your administrators, the people that we designate as our go-to maintainers or admin for the website. And it's a one-time fee. You don't pay every year to maintain a license. So
But we would have to pay every time we update it, correct?
the updates are minimal. It
Mhm.
really has to do with integration, if there's an integration with the other, with the Civic Plus and those are some things. Our renewal is in August and it's $3,400. So we pay $3,400 for the civil side of things for managing our agendas and things that I mentioned. And then the website side. So I think, we've committed this cost for this fiscal year. So maybe it's a good idea for us to look at some options where we have a website that would be built and ready for use. I think we can do a little homework in the meantime. I think they should be providing us monthly analytics of how our website's being used, how many people log in, how many people search for things, how long they stay on average. Because the average person, if you go on a website, you spend 3 minutes looking for something. If you can't find it, you go, screw it, I'm out of here. Like people don't like to have to dig around in things. If they can't find something, they'll spend a few minutes and then they'll leave. So we did this, we kind of went through a similar exercise with the community center. And we asked someone to come in and perform a test. And she basically just looked at how many people had visited the site, how many people how much time they had spent, the average person, if there were any like results, meaning did anybody book things or did anybody follow up with things, or was there any activity after the initial look through the website? So we're just looking for maybe improving the efficiency and effectiveness of our website and looking for an opportunity to pay a one-time fee and have more control over it, make it a little more user-friendly and get a little bit, I guess, improvement or maybe increase involvement from community members. But we have some time to do it. I just thought maybe we would look at it. Maybe we collectively and folks who are listening, community members who are listening, take a minute to go look for something, meeting minutes, try to go find some things, and dig into it.
I've used it a lot for statutes and I haven't had much trouble finding the statutes I want. But that's about all I've used it.
And the ordinances and statutes and things that you manage, updates or new revisions, that's the same. It's a link to a state site. So those are usually integrated links to sites that are made elsewhere by the state. So there's some things I think we could look at the details, but if you think about people visiting town or people who are looking for announcements, in theory, we should be able to use this site to provide some information to folks. And I'm just getting a lot of frustration reports.
Well, and I think that's something that we've talked about too, and I agree with you. And I'm all about saving money if we can. But how's it going with McCall? You've been working with her. She getting her stuff up on it?
It's been a struggle.
Has it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So maybe it's something definitely we need to look at. And you picked the right time because in January, I want to start looking at.
Who does websites in town?
There are a couple of outfits that our commission members mentioned last night, so I can find out. And I mean, it's worth just asking.
Sure.
But I do know that there are website designers that do that. I mean, we talked about it for the community center. They just come in, take all your information, train you on how to use it, decide on how that you want things to be structured and how you want to search for things, and you work on aesthetics and things like that. It ideally is user-friendly, easy to find things, right? And then you pay them a one-time fee and they step away, then we own it, right? We are responsible for maintaining it. And I know that Kim expressed some frustration as department head. It would be a good place for her to be able to update schedules and send out announcements and let people know new things that are happening. And it's not very easy to use.
Yeah.
So it's just taking some time. It should be a quick, just jump on, do something and be.
Well, that's what we wanted it to be, and that was the decision we made. So you guys can put your minutes
Mhm.
of your meeting on. The planning commission can put
Zooming.
their minutes on, so everybody out there can see.
Maintain our own stuff.
Because we don't record, a lot of times the newspapers don't come to the meetings, sometimes they do. These other board, and I think I have no problem looking into something different.
Yeah.
So, what I was gonna ask everybody to start doing at the last meeting, the next meeting, and start thinking about January, because I want to start working towards a budget in January of next year. Instead of waiting until the last moment like we did last time and start thinking about things. We'll be halfway through our year. We'll know where some numbers are. These guys can print out numbers, so now's the perfect time if we're gonna look at something to look into it.
Mhm.
You know, even though we're under contract, but doesn't mean we have to use their website.
Right, there are two parts of this, so I think it's worth looking at the details and seeing if we have an opportunity of eliminating a portion of it,
Well,
if it's not effective.
I'm open to anybody can bring information back on it.
And I'd be willing to work with Karina and Jen and get some information and because from a software point of view, I can maybe look at it that way, but I would really like some input from people who are not so technical that jump in there. Like the average person isn't on a website or in front of a computer all day, every day. So we'd like some feedback if folks from the community, even if you call in and say, I agree, I'm having some difficulty. And then we can work on it. We've got some time to make a decision and put a proposal together.
I would say move forward with it.
Okay.
If that's, like she said, there's been a struggle a
Yeah,
little bit. So,
We just want to make sure we don't get somebody that leaves us half done and high and dry.
yeah,
yeah,
right.
they don't get paid.
And I mean, it is usually a lump sum thing, like we show you how to do this, you set the criteria, what your expectations are, you pay them, and then it's in our hands to maintain from there, so
Sure,
we can work on that.
I would say move right on.
Cool. That's
So,
it,
because that
otherwise,
is where the town needs to have a good website. I mean,
yeah,
like you said, first come into town, the first, if you want to find out what's going on, what's in Saratoga.
mhm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I know that's sort of a tangent, but we had a pretty lengthy conversation about it, and it's worthwhile. I mean, it affects a lot of us. Please note that typically the rec commission meets on the first Monday of every month, and that falls on the new year. So our meeting will be January 8th. So we'll need to post something on the front window that we've changed the date. So January 8th at 6 o'clock. Here. That's it. Thank you.
So you don't have a meeting this month?
We had one yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. All right. Anything else? Okay, we'll move on to the Airport Advisory Board. Nothing really to report. Their next meeting is December 11th. And they also, Brenda, I've talked with her a little bit, and she's looking into when everybody was appointed on that board. Trying to, because it's my understanding, one person, either they think they expired in July, they're not sure. Or July or August. But anyway, we're looking into that so we can get that cleared up too. So, and then we'll know going forward. That's it on that. And then under the South Central Wyoming Emergency Medical Service, they have an agreement here. It's in the back of this. I don't remember everything, but I do remember them coming forth brief, explaining all this to us. And everything, they're gonna raise their fees a little bit. And she asked me to make sure that the council saw that. They want to get everybody signed. I guess the county did sign theirs. I sent this off to Kylie because it is a contract and I think she needs to review our contracts. And so what I'm gonna ask for, if there's no changes or that Kylie finds or anything or suggestions, if the council would give me permission to sign it once we hear back from her. They're in favor of that. And that'll also give you guys a little more time to review it. We just got this last Thursday or Friday, I think. So I've read some of it. But please read through it, and if the council will give me permission to sign this, if Kylie doesn't have any issues with it.
Is it
So I need that in
possible?
form of a motion. When I hear back from Kylie, if she's good with it, can I go ahead and sign it?
Is it possible for them to send us an electronic copy where it's highlighted changes? Because she called them out.
I could ask,
There were just a handful, it's just wording, I think, or some slight changes. So even if they could point out what's changing,
Okay, I can do that.
that would be helpful. But I'll make a motion that you are able to sign this off, provided it passes approval with our attorney.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Their next meeting is December 18th at the Saratoga Ambulance Barn. All right. Is there any new business to be brought before the town? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn this council meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
There we go. It's quick on the trigger.